Mm. Mm, 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 mm. Mm. Nights. Nights. Nights.
What is up? What is going on, everybody? Welcome back to another night with the HVAC Nights. What's up, man?
Let's go. What's going on? How we doing?
Well, let me do the
Keep
shout
it
outs real
moving.
quick. Yeah, Modern Comfort, Refrigeration Devil, Jason Johnson, Nasty, Eddie. What is up, everybody? I'll let everybody, drop in, roll in. You
We
know how it
do it.
goes.
We do.
Did you
Yes,
say you had
sir.
a
Roll
hell of
call.
a day today?
Always have a hell of a day. I did something I totally didn't want to do, and that was reline an air handler, which is lame. But it was one of those jobs. I think I told you this. We were talking about like pricing. It was
Yeah.
like
You didn't want it?
normally it's like no, didn't
Or
want to price it at like $2,200, bro. The dude was like, all right, like dude, you're 25% on the way to getting a new unit. Come on now, and he took the motor out, popped the coil down, dislodged the drain, filled it in with some new insulation, took everything. I did a good job. But now
that's the one that I
I'm
had.
still itchy.
I oh screw that. I had the same deal that one that I told you that I had to redo. Basically, they paid for it twice because somebody did change out the TXV and put all that glorious line set with all the brazing. Yeah, I don't know where that's coming from.
What is
Um,
okay?
someone's revving.
Okay.
And I had to redo it, and I gave a quote similar to that. I was like, yeah, a couple grand on the high end, approved. I was like, damn it, okay.
This is totally not what I wanted.
I didn't want to redo it. I just didn't
But
want to, but we made it happen. It's been working ever since I did that, so we're good to go.
well, that's what I love to hear. God, I'm just trying to get this
You
shit
got the
squared
angle
away.
yet?
Now it's all messed up. No, dude, because it switched to the front camera, and I'm just, this doesn't ever go right to begin with.
Has it slowed down
But
over there yet?
no, it's funny. I was actually talking to Kurt, I think, when I was on his live last week or 2 weeks ago, and he was mentioning like how we kind of gotten more busy after summer
Same
than what
same
we
here.
were. Yeah, so it's been very steady. So that's awesome. Not as many like crazy calls going down. It's not as, but it's a lot more paced now, which is it's awesome. You
What's
know.
up, Mike?
What's up, gents?
Um,
How we doing, Mike?
yeah, it's been fine. I finally had a couple days because I had to do some things to get away from work a little bit, but my phone keeps ringing, and
Mm-hmm.
yeah, it's been one of those. It's been weird. Like after summer, it's been real hectic. I do a
Yeah.
lot of refrigeration, so I mean that plays a part in it. But I know, and I guess in certain areas, it is just staying busy. But there are certain areas because I've talked to other people that say it's slow. It just depends on where you're at, I guess. There was like, okay, Ewok, right? He works with his buddy now,
Right. Mm-hmm.
and they were talking about slow days. That they have to get other things done, and they work for I think a small business, so like that's expected. That happens to us too. Like we have those in between seasons or like times, and it's like okay, I can catch up on other things other than running around on a rooftop all day trying to fix or put out fires left and right. And
Right.
yeah, like today I went to go pick up my kid. Right, I was like, oh, I'm out early. I go pick up my kid. I did notice in the rear view mirror though, as I'm in line, right, I just see like these
Mm-hmm.
little eyeballs looking, and I'm like, I had to do a double take. And who the hell drives with those windshield? What do you call those shades? Right when you park and you put the
Oh
shade
yeah.
up. I was like, it is
Right.
not that hot outside right now. It's like a nice 90 degrees outside versus like 110, 115.
Yeah.
Who the hell does that? But that I don't know. I just saw these two eyeballs, and they're trying to drive, peeking through like the corner of it.
What?
I was like, you
Yo,
better not hit
maybe
me. They were right behind me.
you should have let him, bro. Fell out on the ground holding your bag. That's what you're supposed to do.
Did you see the crazy weather in Arizona?
No, sir. What they got?
They had like I don't know if it was a tornado or hurricane. No, not hurricane. Tornado or some weird weather with rain.
Okay.
And I just saw this one video of them walking through a parking lot. Oh no, the Tacoma, and it was like smashed with a tree and other stuff.
What? Oh man. No,
So
I ain't seen that, man. Thoughts and prayers. T's and P's, brother. T's and P's. You know.
yeah, it's been a while since I think they got that kind of weather.
Dang.
What is up?
Yeah.
Okay, we
No.
got more people in now. What's up,
Oh God.
Rudy?
Everybody. Rude
Everybody.
the dude.
Ben, what is up?
What?
Susie, how are you?
Susie.
Um,
Ben.
any updates? I do have a couple of updates on my end.
In terms of what?
I don't know, tools. I feel like we had something to talk about last time, but I can't remember.
That's something cool. We got these cool little guys. Where we at? Oh, we're over here.
You got the hookup?
Yeah, little holiday. It's cool, man. It's like a black dipped handle on the twin grips, and it's got like a copper um the print on the dipped handle. So it's pretty slick. And then I got a cute little speaker up there. Other than that, no, nothing else exciting.
Oh, besides that, we're going to be at the AHR Expo. That was our video that we posted earlier. I used all
Shout out.
the clips that they didn't use.
Yeah, the good ones, right? I was like, dang, man. We did such a good job.
Well, now it's on our channel.
That's right.
And we're excited to be out there and do the podcast pavilion, all that kind of stuff. And I do want to hit up the JB booth because I have been trying out their new probes, and I will report back that they have done really well. And they're kind of my go-to now. I'm kind of choosing those over the other ones that I've had.
What would the other ones be that you're choosing them over?
Why do you always want names? Field piece.
I need names, bro. I need. Okay.
So I know
is
there's
it because
there's
of the screen? Is the screen that much of a difference for you?
it is. You want to know how many times
I
I've
want to
pulled
know
out?
why. I want to know why.
Because I've ran several calls without ever pulling out my phone. As you know,
How are you documenting these?
You know as well as I do. You already know more or less what pressures you're looking for on like a simple check, right?
brother? You see these? You see what these are?
Beer can cold.
these are temperature readers, brother. I got nature's thermometers right here, and I can just get my saturation. Go ahead.
There you go.
I'm sorry.
No, they've actually held up really well, and I find myself just hooking up and being like, okay, I have, 100 psi. I'm a little bit low, or I have like on refrigeration equipment, I'm in that range where I'm supposed to be. It's not the refrigerant. Let me go check something else. And then when I'm done with my repair, I hook up my clamps and everything, and then I open up. I've been using Measure Quick as well, which is surprising because I wasn't a fan of the earlier builds, I think, but now I've been using it. What?
So you use the Measure Quick app instead of the
JB's app is very similar.
Mm-hmm. There we go. We froze. Don't worry. I'm gonna unfreeze.
I know. You can hear me, right?
Yeah.
There we
Just
go.
keep going. When that happens, just keep going. Okay. You're gonna get a chin shot, and then after that, we're gonna just keep going. Keep going.
So it's very similar. And I want to say I was told that they work in collaboration with each other. There's something to it because the JB app is very much like the Measure Quick app. So if you're comfortable with one, you can use the other. I think we can just ask them straight up, right? You want to phone some people in?
We should be able to. I feel like there's a couple guys that we can touch base with. Go for it. Now.
Boom. What is up, guys? How's everybody?
Wonderful.
Oh gosh,
All right, can
I
you
don't know how to
guys
turn this off.
give us a quick intro, starting with you, Dave, as far as like who you are, what do you do, that kind of just quick introduction to the viewers.
Yeah, my name is Dave
Let's
Madden.
go.
I'm in charge of engineering operations at JB Industries. I've been here 27 years, mechanical engineering. Most of our engineering staff are mechanical engineers with a lot of HVAC experience. We are a manufacturer. We're not repackaging, product from overseas and putting our name on it. Um, I
And
would
that goes
invite you
for like
guys.
the whole lineup of everything, right?
Not everything, about
Okay.
85%.
Okay, there we go.
85%, which is a lot, versus our competitors, it's 0 to,
Ye-
10%
Yeah.
maybe. But we do a lot of tours, you know, technicians, wholesalers. We're very proud of what we do here. We got a very large machine shop, both old school screw machines, horizontal mills, vertical mill. I mean, it's a how it's made episode. So there's no one that's come through
Hey,
JB
that
and
is
then
my
walked into a wholesaler to
favorite
buy product and
TV show.
haven't thought about it differently.
One of my favorite TV shows growing up.
Yeah, it's so please, in the Chicagoland area, we're about 30 minutes west of Chicago. We've been here since 1967, and it's 300,000 square foot under manufacturing, a roof on 50 acres. It's a really cool operation. I know I'm biased, but yeah, we make as much as we can here, and even the stuff we're not currently making here, we're trying to insource.
There you go. And Brian, I know I've seen you around quite a bit. Speaking of Measure Quick, so can you introduce yourself as well?
Yeah. Brian Feeney, I'm actually national trainer for JB on the climate class tools. So I travel all over the country training distributors, contractors, etc. Evangelizing, but also educating on just smart tools in general. And I also play double duty with Measure Quick. So I've been with Measure Quick for a number of years, known Jim Bergman for a long time. And the two really come together well, as you were mentioning in the intro. And, you know, a lot of my time with Measure Quick is also spent in the field. I just spent 2 days on site doing contractor training in Maryland, where we're
Shout
crawling around in
out.
attics and doing doing what it takes to implement, right? Because as well as anyone, when you're trying to learn new technology for the first time and kind of change the way you do things a little bit, there's a little bit of a learning curve there. So a lot of my time is just spent helping technicians get over that hurdle.
And
So
it,
aside
it's
from that, been in the industry 30 years. So
there you go. No, that's awesome because it's so funny how the narrative has changed quite a bit in the past, few years, where everybody was like, it has to be manifold for everything. It has to be even analog, right? People were arguing for that. I got to see the needle bounce. I got to see this. I got to see that. And I was like, we're pretty like me and Jake, especially because Jake was on the whole probe only bandwagon for the longest.
Pioneer.
Yeah. And I was like, I don't know, man. I still like my manifold here and there. And I can't, honestly, at this point, I can't recommend it too much anymore. There's going to be certain situations where you might want a manifold, but for the most part, because of what I wanted to bring up was you guys also have, you guys are extending your probe lineup. You guys have wireless manometers that I saw. And again, screen on them. That's what I've been begging a lot of these other manufacturers to do. And I think JB was one of the first. I've only seen maybe one other company just recently do it. So JB was kind of the ones that I saw with the screen and kind of innovating here and there. So I finally gave them a shot. And like I was telling Jake, it's helpful when I don't have to reach for my phone every single time.
I'll tell you what, if you haven't tried out the manometers yet, they have essentially zero drift, which
Oh,
is
okay.
like a big deal there because it's a lot of other brands. You look at it wrong and it's already drifting out of calibration. So, and the on-screen display. The cool part about Climate Class, I'll just mention, is there's a 9 probe kit. You can do all full blown Measure Quick with the JB Climate Class having the on-screen display, the onboard charging tee and the pressure probes. Now with manometers, it's definitely a competitor to be reckoned with, I would say.
Let me ask
if
about
I can jump. Go ahead.
I wanted to ask about the air tips on the end of these manometers. Are they just like the ones that have the little circle magnet on the end? Like the other ones?
Like the J-hook?
Yeah. I wanted to make a difference because I deal with a lot of duckboard, and it doesn't do as well because I have nothing really to grab onto. Just throwing that out there. Engineering, because the weight, just because duckboard, there's no real good position to put the manometers all in until they start to just get real loose and then they turn. I know it's not much of a difference, I guess, in terms of readings, but just a little food for thought. Would love
Hey, Jake,
to.
Jake, I have a solution for you, man.
What you got?
TEC, the Energy Conservatory, makes these
they got the
sticker plates.
Oh,
so they
nice.
sell these sticker plates that you peel the back off, and it's a metal plate.
Get out of here.
Used where your static pressure ends. Yep. And then it comes with little plugs too. So after you're done, you got a really nice looking set up for future testing.
See that? Come on, chat. Nobody's helped me with that one. I've been talking about this for years.
See, I deal with duckboard too, but I do commercial, so I do everything on the RTU. So like I just drill the hole and put them in there, and it's fine.
Sorry to cut you off there.
Yeah,
Mr.
I'd like to. Yeah, no, you're fine. I'd like to address a question you guys brought up earlier about the MeasureQuick relationship with JB. So we've, and again, I'm the oldest guy on this call. I can say, just know that for sure. We had a digital manifold. We had a SH35N 30 years ago that was really the first probe, right? It measured pressure. You had a little refrigerant key. And there were a lot fewer refrigerants back then. But it gave you your pressure, your saturation temperature, and calculated your superheat. Back then, it was primarily only superheat on the suction side. But that was 30 years ago. And then we decided, well, let's integrate that into a manifold. And so we had a digital manifold. Most people don't know this. Almost 25 years ago. And the transducers back then weren't, I'm looking at one right in front of me. The transducers probably were for air, so they didn't hold up great when 410A came out with the higher pressures. Now all of our transducers are sealed. They're laser welded, stainless steel. So we don't have any issues with transducers. So our relationship with MeasureQuick, so we were writing our own apps, right? And you'd connect, and they were fine. They were decent. And then we kept looking at MeasureQuick, which had a 20-year head start on us. And like, wow, that app is really great, right? And not everyone needs everything. But so our strategy was, hey, let's partner with MeasureQuick, have them develop an app for JB Industries. It doesn't have all the bells and whistles MeasureQuick. So if you need that, then go to MeasureQuick. But if you're coming from an analog manifold, our app is pretty thorough, and it's a good gateway product, I guess, to get to MeasureQuick. So, and we're not hiding that fact. We're not trying to pretend that we did. No, we're in full partnership with MeasureQuick, and we're proud of it. We think they had the best app, and we partnered with them to make JB's app. One other thing I might add about the displays. Our very first wireless product was a scale without a display. And boy, we learned the hard way. A lot of people, we still sell the scale with a display, but some old timers get it. They didn't have a smartphone, and we got our butts ripped.
Oh man!
So we decided, just as a backup, like you said, the feedback we get from contractors: hey, the boss doesn't buy my phone. My hands are dirty. I don't want to use it right. I just want a quick reading. So we made a conscious effort on all of our wireless tools, which are micron gauges, psychrometers, manometers, pressure probes, you name it, even if it's a small display. And then we've come up with better uses of that display. And with all of our wireless products, we have over-the-air updates. Why that's important, let's say you bought a probe kit a year and a half ago. Well, now our probes, when you map to supply air or return air, it'll identify that on your display. Before it was just like T1, T2. Well, what's that mean, right? And we have colored bands for identity. But now when you turn that probe on, it tells you what you used it for last, and now you can throw it in that vent or wherever it goes. So you can power all the probes off now through the app. So if you have a 9-probe kit and you're done using it, you don't have to go to every single probe and hold the power button down for 3 seconds. You can go to your app, say power all off, or put them all to sleep. But the nice thing about that, if you bought it a year and a half ago, you'd think, oh man, I bought them too early. No, you didn't. Go to our firmware update your firmware, which takes about 45 seconds. Now you have all the enhancements that we came out with yesterday. So that over-the-air update for our wireless product is really critical.
And that was very awesome, because I've talked to other brands, other manufacturers that told me that stuff like that they couldn't do. Firmware updates on certain tools or manifolds, because I just wanted something. Yeah, I was like, you need to fix this one thing, right? And when you guys did it, I was like, see, it can be done, because you guys gave a whole bunch of updates in that firmware for the probes, which when I mentioned it, because I think we mentioned it on here, Jake, right? We were talking about the probes, and I had messages like, thank you for letting me know, because I didn't know that. I immediately went to go update all my stuff, and it's so much better now. I was like, yes, I know. It's been one thing to not only have the labels, but I don't know any other brand that allows me to turn them off after I've already put them away, like put them in my bag, put them stored away in the van and stuff like that. And then you drive off and you're like, did I turn off my probes? And then you find them dead on your next call or whatever. So that's been I didn't even know that was possible. So that was a really cool update all around.
You can coin this one.
This is released about a week
phrase
ago,
I like to say I came up with. Is with the OTAs is smarter today than it was yesterday. This thing, there you go. Use it.
I like it.
That is clutch, though, being able to go in on the back end on some things, because obviously bugs, things like that, updates, that's very key. And Adrian was very excited about that.
I was like, I think they won me over.
He did. He got a little too excited. I said, slow it down, brother, okay? Because you know what? You got this excited the first time. I don't want you to get.
Yeah. So can we also discuss, as far as like because you mentioned that a lot of the stuff is made here. It's USA made. You guys are very proud of the American made, and a lot of the. Hold on, let me get the chat up here real quick. Freon, I appreciate the super chat. Show us that first digital manifold. What was it called?
I was just trying to, I was trying to, I Googled a few. Yeah, that's the one right there.
Look like.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They're selling it.
Yeah, it had two little displays. People loved it. I mean, when we discontinued it, and it was only because the transducers weren't, lasting as long as we wanted. People were very upset because it was really ahead of its time.
Yeah, that's really cool.
When was that released?
For $289.
It was probably 25 years ago. Now, it wasn't wireless, of course.
Yeah.
But it had, temperature clamps, thermistor that you plugged into the side and you clamped on. And
well, I don't want to throw any shade.
Refrigerants back there.
I don't want to throw any shade, but there's people right now making manifolds that are not wireless either. But that's a whole other story. So that's
Tell
really
us
cool.
more.
No. What was the other one? Someone mentioned what happened to the iManifold. That was another one that came out a while back too.
Ooh, the iManifold. That was a big deal.
But that was
around.
Is it?
Yeah.
I remember seeing people use that one.
I don't know how.
Yeah, right?
I don't know how.
That thing was ridiculously expensive too.
Oh, my point. Well, I was getting to was you guys talk about American made. You guys have been making. Well, that's a big part of your brand. Can you talk us through a little bit of, maybe the feedback you get, maybe the improvements you guys make, and specifically, I think we can talk about the probes being, I guess, improved on the durability and what they're kind of made out of. I wasn't giving the whole explanation as to what exactly was done to them, but maybe you can kind of touch on that.
Yes, I can handle that. Again, I've been here 27 years. We've never had a recall, and we still haven't. So we're very proud of that. We try to put things in the field for at least a year. Um, our engineers know, hey, the lab's one thing, the field's another, right? So we want to get. It's just a different atmosphere, heat and cold and dropping, and so we don't want to release anything until it's been in the field for a good long time, and we get the feedback. So these probes, I'll try to be quick. I can get very technical, but these probes release with a glass-filled nylon material that we use for quite a bit of, manifold handles, things like that for 20, 30 years. Never get anything back. We released them. Everything was great, no problems. There's a little bit of rubber overmold on these products just for extra grip. And we noticed a couple where the overmold was a little loose. So we partnered with our injection molder and said, hey, what can we do about this? We ended up, which I wish we hadn't, but we did. We went to a high impact drone material, polycarbonate, out of Germany. It actually costs more than the material that we were using. And we do all the testing, freezer, oven,
Oh, okay.
exposure to POE, mineral oil, 410, everything. And just beat the heck out of them, put them in a vise, hammer them. It passed all those tests. Again, it was a higher impact material. It was supposed to be better. It was more expensive. And the overmold adhered to it better. But apparently the injection molding process is very finicky. And if the tool temperature isn't just right, it can lead to some imperfections. So apparently, we started out with the glass-filled nylon, no problems. We went to the better material that we thought, no problems. We must have gotten a lot in where the tool was a little cooler and the structure of the material wasn't as strong. So when it was exposed to 410A and UV, over time, some of those would crack. And that was the issue. So what we've since done to fix the problem, we're going back to glass-filled nylon, which we're shipping now. We went to a two-step mold. So when you have overmold on a product, usually you mold it, you get a plastic piece, and that sits in a bin. And then you go to the second stage where you put the rubber over it, the Santoprene or whatever the overmold is. Well, it's cool at that stage. Now we've gone to a two-shot mold, which was expensive, but we don't want product back, so we have no problem spending the money. We developed a two-step mold now where it'll inject the plastic, it'll rotate and get the rubber out while the part's still hot. So not that we ever had a big problem with the overmold coming off, but now we're back to the material we know is indestructible, and the process isn't as finicky, and we paid for new tooling. A lot of these probes use common parts, so all the product shipping today has that newer material. So a little long-winded, but the good news is most of the product was with the original material, and even the subsequent material, most of that is good. It's just a subset of, and we're not sure if it's 500 or 600 of products are susceptible to 410A and to UV. The one thing about JB, and I think anyone you talk to in the field, we stand by the product. We're not perfect, but by golly, if 3 years from now someone sends us a probe back that has that crack, they're going to get a new one, no questions asked, for free. So we will definitely stand by anything that's out there that has any cracking.
Okay, so a couple of things there, like that makes total sense because I've had friends that have your probes and they must have gotten them early on. And they're like, I've dropped them, I've put them through, I use them every day, I've never had them crack, I've never had this or that. And I was like, I don't know, mine happened to spider web and start cracking in certain areas. And I was like, I didn't even do much with them. I was lightly using them. So again, that goes to your point, bad batch. You guys were trying some other stuff and things like that. And mistakes happen. I get it.
Yeah. And it was particularly the pressure probes that
yes,
we've noticed because they're get a little spray of refrigerant from time to time. We're not getting any temperature clamps or very few back or psychrometers. So if the device isn't exposed to refrigerant, there's really no issue at all. But we had the same issue. We saw some getting cracked and, heard more and more. And we were grabbing them in vices and beating the heck out of them with a sledge. We couldn't get them to break. And we were puzzled ourselves. But we eventually got into that lot out of stock that we were able to replicate the issue. And then we're like, not that we ever doubted anyone in the field, but they were like, okay, there is something here.
That makes sense now because I was like, I don't know what happened. Somebody did mention to me, oh, is it the oil from your refrigerant? Is it anything else? I was like, I don't know. Maybe it's the heat. I'm in Texas. It's a lot of UV, and they sit in my van a lot. So um, that makes a whole lot sense now. And I will say, when I received the replacement probes, they did feel different. They did feel better, in my opinion. And I've had no
Yeah.
issues with those.
Okay, good.
Adrian, what's wild is like I've had my set for a year and a half now, like
Yeah.
zero issues, and they fly all over the country with me. And
Yeah, my friends
um,
were telling me
you
that they've had theirs longer, and I was like, I don't know. I just got mine.
yeah. So that was always hard. It was like, well, mine work, and it's just trying to navigate through that has been, obviously you never like to see something
No,
go
and I
off,
totally get it
center.
because you guys were great. Like everybody at JB that I've talked to, and even hitting me up like, oh, we'll take care of you. We'll this, we'll that. And I've had other people like on Instagram, oh, mine cracked too, and this and that, and they took care of all those people from what I understand because they, like you said, if any of those are bad, you guys stand by your product, you guys will replace them. So I just made a comment like, if you guys are having issues, please reach out to JB. I'm sure they'll make it right. And sure enough, I
Absolutely.
heard time and time again that, okay, I got mine replaced. I got mine replaced. They took care of it, and that was great to hear. Great to see the improve or the change to make them better. Firmware update was my favorite thing about it, but good to see all that from JB. Anything, Jake?
I have no experience, so I don't know. The only thing I ever bought a JB was a manifold set that was in the clearance bin at Train when I got in the field, and the hoses exploded, and that was it. So I was like, you know what? We'll just keep it moving.
Anyway, um, so then as far as Brian, as far as
Yeah.
what you do, you do trainings, like do you do classes or you do like on the job or both?
Both. So I'll do classes usually at the distributors throughout the country, many times around JB, and then we'll sprinkle in some Measure Quick into those because it's complementary to the product. It kind of elevates how the product works. On the Measure Quick side, most of the time I'm in the field doing one-on-one training for companies. So like this week I was, like I mentioned, in Maryland. I was running in the vans all day yesterday, doing maintenances and AC startups, and I've been in hot attics in Georgia, sweating
Oh,
my
there you
butt
go.
off. But because it's technical stuff, right? So I always bring my tools with me, and usually they have their own tools. But what's wild, and something that's really interesting is like as I do these trainings, everyone's got the yellow brand, and as their brand of choice, and that's fine. Um, but there's been many occasions where they end up buying the same set that I have, and
Which
obviously
is,
I roll with JB,
yeah,
and so and it speaks for itself, right? But I think what's gratifying in my line of work is I'm working with technicians every day. They text me, they call me. I mean, I've got a good friend here in Philly where I live that he had a set of tools that cracked. I was his first text message, 8 o'clock on a Tuesday night. And I said, you know, we're going to send you a new set. And he got it within a few days and it was done. Like he's back out. He's a big fan and advocate. But yeah, one of the things with digital adoption, with going from analog tools to digital tools, there's this uncomfortable, you know, feeling for senior technicians
yeah. I was
sometimes
gonna
that are
say it's
like,
gonna
oh,
be
I don't
hard
need.
for the older guys.
Well, they say I don't need that, and that's kind of where, when you do pull out a JB tool, and you've got the on-screen display, it's like, look, this fits in like a lunchbox size bag. You don't have to have your badge of honor hanging from the back window with your hoses rotting in the sun. You know, you don't need that anymore. Like let's like take it easy on your back, and you can still have it your way. And that's the kind of a unique thing when you can use the probes, 3 different ways, like you were mentioning earlier, Adrian. On-screen display, JB app, measure quick. I mean, what other tools can you actually do that with and address the general population of technicians, no matter what their skill or comfort level is, right? So if I'm a old school dude and I just want to do the math, and I feel proud about calculating subcooling and capacity, which nobody does, by all means do it.
I don't know who in
the skilled labor
I don't know who in their right mind wants to do all the math on the job site when you're sweating and frustrated. I would rather it do it for me. But I will say, like I said, my phone, what I've seen on countless occasions, because people always ask me, because I've been saying this forever with other brands, like, please put a screen, please put a screen. I get asked, why would you want a screen on there? Like, why do you keep saying that? I was like, dude, I live in Texas. My phone overheats within minutes, like just being out in the sun. So I can't always use my phone, or like it tries to dim, it shuts off, it does a bunch of things. And I'm always like on the phone because I run my business, calling and texting, and then, going in and out of the app. I know Matt, Mechanical Environments, was saying that he uses like a dedicated tablet. That's something that I've been trying to implement, but like I forget my tablet 9 out of 10 times, right? Like it's easier when it's on the freaking probe.
It's wild too. Like the techs I was with this week, they were taking brand new yellow ones out of the box and getting out a Sharpie and just writing on brand new tools with a black Sharpie. That's a little disturbing because there's no display, right? So how do I know which one they all look the same, right? Yeah. If I have 2 manometers, which ones supply, which ones return? I don't know. I could if I reverse them, or if I reverse my temp clamps, what's going to happen to my readings? I mean, it's just going to throw you for a twist.
They all have their little way of indicators. You might have to look underneath, or you can't see the visual, right? And I've done that plenty of times where I mix them up, and then I'm like, oh man, I got to take everything off and do it again. So it happens. And like I said, that update was really cool, seeing the labels change and the on and off feature that you have now. And again, nobody else does that. So the only thing that was off-putting for me when I was looking into them, because I was super excited for the screen, was I wasn't sure about the size of them. But after using them for months now, honestly, because even the old ones that had cracked on me, I still used them. They fit damn near everywhere that I've needed them to. I think I only know one brand of equipment, refrigeration equipment, that doesn't allow any probe to fit because the damn line sets are like side by side and the ports are like facing each other. But that's a manufacturing issue there. It's not, or the brand issue. It's not the probes themselves. So for me, they fit in most places. And then having that charging port, because I work on old systems, to where they might just want, it's short a few ounces, top it off, charge me, and then like we'll replace it later. So I've done that a lot too, and I don't have to carry around a charging tee, which I've forgotten, and you kind of get screwed over from that. Which Jake ran into that with the A2L fittings that we need now.
Don't even remind me, bro. It was so disappointing. Like, it was a good day. It was a good day. We got the job done.
Got everything he needed except the A2L reverse thread adapter.
Guys, what I'd see lot lately too is in my travels is, the younger generation of technicians, let's face it, there's a skilled labor gap that we have a shortage of techs, is they want the technology. Like you don't see brand new technicians coming into the trade buying a set of analog gauges, not anymore, and it's kind of the wave of the future. It's already here. It's been here for a while. I don't know what you guys see out there, but that tends to be.
Well, Jake called it.
I see a lot of.
Right, with your wireless setup.
What happened?
Yeah, he was the first.
You're the pioneer for it.
Yeah, I was the only. Actually, yeah. Yeah, back when those digital manifolds came out back in 1995 or 2000, Dave shipped them to directly. I don't know. Um, do the probes come with the like the 45? I know they're straight on. Like, do they have the 45 or the 90 or so? Okay, cool. That's nice.
They have the
That's
45.
Because I know some.
That's
Okay.
another nice thing.
Yeah, no, because other places again we can just the yellow brand, field piece, whatever. Like everything is like any extra component you have to buy separately. Like on their, I don't know how this all works. Like this core tools, like you got to buy the 5/16 for the mini splits and things like that. It's kind of a pain in the butt. It's nice that it's included because Adrian, you were mentioning fitting it particularly on a specific unit. I know like on train, if you try to put it on that suction side, the way their valves are, they're down angled, into the ground. I just figured, it'd be a little difficult. I usually go on true suction side anyways on a train, but having the adapter, I would probably just keep it. You know what I mean?
And we've had this discussion with other people. I feel like they're trying to make it harder for us to use proper tools on some equipment, because I have like refrigeration equipment where they started putting the ports inwards on the condensing unit, and I can't fit a core tool in there or anything like that. So I got to look for another port further in the system, because they do give you more ports, but like the ones that are supposed to be easily accessible are now the hardest one to access.
Where those will not work, I guarantee you, on the old cube or the old classic reams, man, where they are inside, where the compressor and the reverser valve are all right there, and they are facing inwards on the service valves. Oh, those are, you can barely get a regular 1/4-inch adapter on those things.
Well, you got to have a bunch of, I have like hoses, like short hoses and fittings and all that. And I was gonna say why everybody else makes you buy them separately, right? It's because they don't make all that other stuff. JB does. So JB makes all the fittings, and JB makes they make almost everything under the sun that you need.
Yes. I mean, we are a manufacturer, so I heard left-handed thread A2L adapters. We were up and making those about 8 days after we knew we needed them, because
I was going to ask you
12-foot rods from Chase Brass in Ohio, and we've got setup guys here, been here for 40 years. They set up a Davenport, which is all manual.
Let's go.
We're dropping those things off. We're not ordering them and waiting for a boat to show up in 6 months. So we're very flexible. We can make a hose that's any length you want. We're cutting it here. We make all the barbs, the hose nuts. We're doing all the assembly testing here. I was sorry to hear about your hose experience, but
he got it in the clearance bin.
Yeah, but
you got it in the clearance bin.
Yeah, our hoses are U.S. made. They come from Nebraska, old Goodyear plant there. Same hose as a major competitor of ours in hoses I won't name, but and we machine all the barbs, hose nuts. Yeah, we're super flexible here. I also like being a manufacturer. I know the sales guys run around and say made in USA, but from an engineering and the operation, we just like to control. A manifold leaking, we got no one to blame. We machined that thing on a horizontal mill 6 ways to Sunday. The hoses, we got no one to blame but ourselves. And if we 100% test every pump on the line, which are also UL recognized, and we 100% test for CFM, for vacuum, for leaks, for temperature. If one's got a problem, we shut the line down, and I don't have to go very far. Someone in the building screwed up. Either the vane's too short, they didn't machine the rotor right, which never, ever happens. But if it did, we're in control. And I think we can support the product better. So someone calls and, hey, I got a problem with your pump. Well, we built it. I can support it. If I'm getting a pump from overseas and putting our name on it, I'll give them a free one. That's disposable. Throw it away. Here's another one for free. That's not how we operate. We want to make good tools that last and that are easily repairable, and that offer. Most of the pumps we get back for repair, they're 30 years old, and they're back out the door 2 days later.
I love it.
What were you gonna say,
shit. What was I gonna say? He was going on a great spiel there. I loved it. Oh, dang it! All right, you finish. I'm gonna put my hand up.
Well,
again.
what I was gonna interject with is that's
Ooh, interject. Good thing. Who does the
what.
injection blow mold? I used to work at an injection blow mold place. It was like buried plastics back in the day for like a year. So I didn't, and they got bought by like Captive Plastic and all kinds of stuff like that. So I'm just curious.
Well, we have two blow molder products. One, actually, my computer's sitting on it right now, is our tank, which is our oil fill tank that comes out of Iowa. I think it's Clinton, Iowa. I'm not sure. That's
Okay.
even the things that we don't make here, we engineer design. And then we have our rule of thumb is, hey, we're not aluminum die caster. We're not a powdered metal house.
Yeah.
So the things that we're not, we try to find companies just like us that are. So most of our powdered metal is out of Indiana, Tennessee. Our die castings out of Illinois. Our forgings, Michigan, South Carolina. So we, people that we can talk to during the day, I can go visit, or our engineering team can go visit. So, but yeah, I'd love to have you guys come by for a visit. I mean, it'd be eye-opening. I think the amount of manufacturing that we are doing, again, we're not doing it all, but we're doing about 85%, and we're trying to grow that number.
No, that's awesome.
It's more
I've
than
been
what
to
a lot of companies can say.
Yeah, and I've done some tours recently just because I've been more into seeing how things are made and all that kind of stuff. So that's always the cool part, is getting to see what you guys actually do, and that you can actually do this stuff. Because what I was going to say earlier is, you said you stand by it. You can go down the line, figure out if something's going on, and you can take care of it because you guys make it. And that's a whole, in my opinion, because we use your tools, everybody else's tools, like out in the field, and we are abusing them, and Jake's throwing them off a roof, different things like that. I don't want to hear like that they'll just send out another one, or we'll swap it out, we don't know what happened to it. I want to hear like you guys are actually going to look into it, or you found a problem, you're going to address it, this or that, which I have heard from you guys, and JB in general. But that's what I want to hear, right? Like, we make it in house. We're going to see what happened. We're going to figure it out, and we're going to address it. So that's always good to hear.
Yeah.
I'll tell you guys, I've been to that factory. I've been to that factory, and it's certainly an impressive factory to see. I mean, I've been to plenty of different manufacturing facilities over my career, but just the culture at JB is top notch. I mean, everybody there is just, they all care about what they're doing. A lot of long-term employees there. And as Dave stated, I mean, there's so much that JB makes in-house. It will blow your mind to see actually what they do make, because you would not think that it's possible to make it there. And it's being done every single day. It's really, like, I would encourage you to get out to Illinois, and when you get a chance.
We're coming.
We're
on the way.
List.
AHR.
It's on the list.
We should have gone last year, bro. AHR. We were there.
That's what somebody told me. I talked to a few guys, and they're like, "Oh, it might have been Pat Finley or one of them that was like, oh, it's right there." I'm like, damn it. What was I gonna say?
Klein, what I want to say is, what's the 15% that's not made here?
That's mostly, primarily electronics. We make as much of the electronic stuff here as we can. Leak detectors, scales, micron gauges have been made, but it's just tough. A lot of the components you can't even get here anymore. And it's more of an issue of that. But even what we don't make here is all engineer design here. We're telling whoever, this is the sensor we want. This is the MEM sensor for vacuum. This is the transducer. This is how it's going to look. This is how it's going to operate. We make all those decisions here, and then pretty much what they're doing there is just sourcing and doing the PCB pick and place, manufacturing. But again, we're trying to bring that in too.
Oh, yeah, that's awesome. Real quick, we're gonna get to questions in the chat in a minute. So if you guys have any questions and you haven't asked them yet, please do so. I'm gonna pull some up that I saw a little bit earlier. But Brian, really quick, what are you seeing when you go out and you're doing these trainings? You touched on it earlier, techs now versus techs in the past. as far as like the tools that they use, what they want, and maybe just something in general with, some of the newer technicians. Are you training a lot of like younger techs?
Yeah. Yep. I'm talking 2 months old into the trade.
Oh, dang.
To a lot of, I say a bulk of the technicians I'm seeing across the nation are less than 5 years of experience.
Mm.
Uh, Digital tools, unless they're introduced in the trade schools, they're it's somewhat new to them in the field. Like
It's not
they could
known. Yeah.
potentially, yeah. And so that's something I've been advocating for the last number of years is trying to get the trade schools to level up, the education, right? Get the kids using digital tools, get them using apps and things like Measure Quick to like get them learning faster, right? Because a lot of stuff they come out of trade school and they forget half of what they read in the book, and now they're in the field and they're just getting the crap kicked out of them, and it's not a good start, right? That's why they leave, and so that's why we do have a shortage of techs. But what's scary to see though, Adrian, is there is a huge gap in fundamental learning. The fundamentals, understand the refrigerant cycle.
Basics. Yeah.
Saturation temperature, change in enthalpy. So there's a lot of stuff that they're like, I have no idea what that means. All I do is get temp split,
All I
10
do is
degree
add charge.
subcooling. Yeah. And, I was looking at systems this week that had every system was over zero point 0.8 of static.
Hmm.
Mm.
So, I mean, how do you effectively charge a system when you have over, zero point 0.8 to an inch of static pressure on the duct system? You can't. I mean, not effectively, not to where it's going to create the comfort that you promised the customer. So there's a lot of, the biggest deficit nationwide is most technicians are not measuring static pressure, period.
Yeah.
That's the biggest kind of eyesore that I see that needs more education quicker. And I spend a lot of my time educating on how to measure static pressure properly and what it means. That's a big part of what I do. Now with the JB manometers out, it makes it a lot easier.
Hmm.
And but ultimately, that tends to be what I see. The younger techs are very eager to learn. They just need the tools to do it.
They need
Things like
the
Measure Quick doing
tools
a lot
and
of
the mentors.
calculation. Yes. I find myself taking a mentorship role a lot of times for people. I've got technicians that call me regularly, and I'm there to help them the best I can. And like even I was down at the Service Titan Elite Trades Championship last week in
Oh,
West Palm Beach, Florida.
yeah, that looked
So
cool.
part of that competition actually utilized Measure Quick for a service challenge for apprentices. And you could see the minute they turned around to the training unit and saw the Measure Quick screen, half of them didn't know what it meant because it was a lot
Yeah.
of data, right? If you don't know the relationship between high subcooling and saturation temperature and low airflow all together, like what does it mean? You know what I mean? So that way of thinking it's advanced, but how do you get someone there quicker, right? So I think the digital tools are there now. It's just you got to take it seriously, right? I think a lot of the kind of words of wisdom I could bring is if you want to do this for a living, be the best version of yourself and learn as much as you can. For the old school
Mm.
dudes, you can still learn. I'm 53, man. I still learn. And I meet a lot that are done learning. They just want to do beer can cold. Saturation temperature could tell me everything about a system. I say, okay, good luck. Um, but that's where it's at. I think it's a great time to be in this industry. It's a very
Hmm.
rewarding industry. I just think instead of fighting it, embrace it and move into the future. I mean, that's my outlook.
Yeah, we have a senior tech who had a lot of bad habits, and I've been impressed with him lately. He is watching YouTube videos, looking up manuals and books to read, and he's gotten a lot better from what I saw him, when he started with us, because I used to get after him. I used to get after other employees that I had because they were like, I have this pressure. What do I do? And this pressure, that. And I'm like, temperature guys, like we need to talk about temperature. We need to hook up everything to a system because they would only hook up like the low side. And I'm like, did you hook up the high side? Do you know what's going on with the whole system all the way through? Right now we have apprentices and they've been, like you said, they've been super eager to learn. And I've been just happy, smiling when they come up to me and they're like, I got this saturation temperature. I got this reading here. And they got everything listed for me. And I'm like, okay, now I can help you. Like you did all your checks. You did everything that I would have done personally. So I've been really impressed with some of the new guys, especially the ones that we have. And, like you said, just, learn more, try to be better. And that's all we ask.
Yep.
Yeah, if I could just add just a couple points, I just want to make sure get out there that we discussed earlier. One is we saw a lot of analog manifolds still with 454B and R32, the A2Ls. So there's still a lot out there, guys. I'm telling you.
Yeah.
We also sell a digital manifold still. That's wireless. So we have a lot of customers that love the probes, love the wire, but they still want the manifold. Instead of using the pressure probes, they're just using the manifold for their pressure. But their wet ball, everything else, the clamps is communicating to the digital manifold wirelessly. So it's kind of like a hybrid, right? It's a manifold and wireless tools. Some people prefer that because they have that display, but that also works with MeasureQuick. And the last point I wanted to make about MeasureQuick, it's going to be hard to throw 9 yellow tools out and buy a JB kit. The nice thing about MeasureQuick is you lose a psychrometer. Buy a JB psychrometer. We sell them individually, by 2. You can mix and match tools with MeasureQuick. So you could have a couple yellow, a couple JB, and then hopefully you like the JB best, and then over a few years you got all black and silver and no yellow. But I just wanted to throw that out there just so your listeners.
I was going to say I've lost misplaced my psychrometers several times. It happens.
We were going to deploy the MeasureQuick in because we started doing like deploying. I'm sure you may have heard of a Smart AC. It works in conjunction with the MeasureQuick and our CRM that we use. And I think I just got something the other day because we were going to do it, but we only have at the time we were doing a conversation with somebody from MeasureQuick, just a deployment, you know what I mean? And they want like an hour on the site, right? Or whatever. And the way the dispatch is, you know how that is. Like dispatch, oh, you got another 5 calls, and you're like, yeah, but I gotta dial this in. I gotta deploy all my my stuff, get it right. Gotta let the system run, yada yada yada. And it was, I think the reason we ended up pausing that agreement was because they wouldn't have understood that. Like, hey, if I have a 4 system maintenance, give me my time to be here. Because I think they were like, say, at least 90 minutes, right? To get an accurate reading on that system, because we're doing the static, right? We're checking all that. We're going through the system, checking our pressures and all that stuff, our amps and things like that. So if you had to pick between the two, because obviously they helped integrate the JB app, would it just be best to start with the JB app version of MeasureQuick before going, feet first in the deep end on MeasureQuick?
Well, I mean, the JB app is going to do all the calculations for you: capacity, superheat, subcooling, change in enthalpy, static pressure. You're going to have all those readings instantly while you have probes deployed. MeasureQuick's going to provide you advanced diagnostics. So it's actually going to, and then give you the tools to be able to communicate with the homeowner with the pro reports, which give you that graded score from A+ to F, and, I guess I'll kind of summarize it by, the great words of Jim Bergman, who invented MeasureQuick, is the most important call is the call you're on. So whether it takes an hour and a half or 3 hours, if it produces revenue, why would I turn and burn chasing $200 capacitors all day long for 8 calls a day and burning out my team, or running 4 calls a day and making $2,500? So to me, it's about alignment in the company. And I have this discussion regularly. It's something, because I do all the demos for MeasureQuick. So when I'm talking to an owner, that's if we can't get to that level of slowing down to be more profitable, then it's probably not a fit. So,
Brian, did we speak to you? Were you on a group call with us back then?
probably.
Is
What's
it
your
always
company?
you? Busy
It's
Air
been me
out
for
of
the last.
Orlando.
Oh yeah, it was totally me, dude.
Yeah, it was me. You heard me getting on there. I was bitching a little. Okay, yeah. If you go back,
Yeah.
yeah,
Yep.
okay.
As soon as you said
Yeah.
busy, you guys just popped back up again. I think.
Yeah,
Some
that's
kind
why
of
I was like, dude, I
rotation.
think we just got something because again, back with the smart AC and the CRM and all that good stuff, we'll communicate more.
Yes, we need to talk again.
Where is it?
Okay, so as far as the chat, really quick, that Cormax tool,
brother?
any
There's your email.
improvements?
The 22nd of September.
Have you guys thought of any?
You just ignored me.
Have you guys thought of any improvements on the Cormax tool? It's something that I think a lot of us see now is not a big fan of Cormax themselves, but the Cormax fittings and stuff like that, where you kind of need this tool. But it's a big tool. It's an expensive tool, and some people are hesitant to get it.
Yeah, it is expensive, and it's a big tool. People are used to the valve core removal tools for standard Schrader valve cores, and that cost, and then they get sticker shock when they see this. And yeah, it's just a function of lower volume, bigger tool, stainless steel parts, little bearings in there. We have looked at improving that, and I think by improvement you mean take some of the cost out, because I think it works fine.
Oh, yikes!
And maybe putting a side port on too for
Okay, yeah.
UNE rise testing as well. So there's nothing imminent that I could report on this, but we have looked at it, and we do have some resources that are exploring something that's maybe a little lighter, smaller, cheaper, because that takes the whole brass fitting out. It doesn't just take the core out. Standard was that you got to go on there and take that whole brass fitting. I think it's screwed in at 10 foot-pounds and replace it. So yeah, that's all I have to report on right now.
Mechanical Environments wants to be able to completely change it out for a different port, possibly. A lot of guys just end up cutting it out. I've had Cormaxes leak left and right. So I mean, you guys have the tool to work with that. And like I said, it's my issue is more with Cormax themselves.
Yeah, we get a few calls that people don't understand what the Cormax, how it's different than a regular, and they go in there and they don't look, and they're trying to dig it out with a valve core tool, and they end up just murdering it, and bending it, and then now they really got a leaker, and they're scrambling. I know some companies with multiple trucks, they'll have a couple they leave at the shop, and then you always got to go back there to get it because they don't want to buy one for every truck. So yeah, duly noted. I get it. It was a faster evacuation concept that was developed by Fast Test actually, and where they're kind of the exclusive distributor for this market.
Is Cormax under JB, or do you just manufacture?
Yeah, JB is Cormax is a JB trademark.
Oh, okay. Oh, sorry.
They fucking suck. Oh, that's good.
Yeah,
I had
somebody
no
else was
experience
like,
with any Cormac stuff, so I can't
you don't
speak
see
on
it.
that either.
I've seen them on other
I
equipment
mean,
pop up.
they're probably there. I've never had to deal with like the issues of whatever. I don't know.
Let me look through the chat real quick. Anything else, Jake?
GG's chat. No. I mean, that was great, informative information. The excitement. See, it's always good to have reps, representatives, engineers, trainers, things like that. Like so enthusiastic and not just here for the bullshit, right? And been there for a long time. I mean, that's pretty cool to kind of see the evolution and growth. I always enjoy it.
Yeah.
Let's just say.
JB or Jason does industrial work. If you guys are planning to develop more products for the heavy commercial industrial, basically, because all he does is work on chillers.
Jason, suck it up, dude. Just suck it up, okay?
Yeah, I'm not sure what he has in mind. I mean, we do a lot with
what
commercial
do you
refrigeration.
have as far as like the the bigger pumps for that kind of application?
He wants a 50
Yeah,
CFM pump.
yeah, and I'd have to know a lot more detail because one of the biggest myths in the industry is the CFM of a pump, and we know guys that want. You joked about a 50 CFM pump. They want it, and they're going through a 2-valve manifold, not pulling the valve cores, so they'll never get more than a half a CFM. I don't care what they put on the other end of it.
What is?
And if you're working on a large system, you're better off having multiple pumps on different parts of the system. Even so, one centralized large pump. Again, I don't know what connections, but you got to have some massive connections to even fully utilize a 12 CFM pump. I know bigger is always better in everyone's mind, but it isn't in most cases.
Well, I was going to ask, what is your recommendation, or what is the most that somebody should be using in like residential, like commercial application?
Yeah, I mean, we go through different options. If you really want to save time, the old adage, it's physics too. It's not JB. Is hey, the shorter, the bigger the hose, the faster the evacuation. People think of the pump has a CFM, but you have a CFM at atmosphere. Once you start getting into a vacuum, there's 760,000 microns in atmosphere. I can get down to 100,000 in a couple minutes on a 5-ton. It might take me 30 more minutes to get to 500. It's not linear. There's a curve for a reason, right? So the construction of the pump, how tightly constructed the ultimate vacuum is often more important than the CFM. The CFM is a mathematical calculation based on the displacement of the rotor stator, the rotation of the motor. So you got to get the air to the pump to utilize it properly. So we sell 12 CFMs, the beast. They are fast, but you got to get the connections to it. So we're big on, if you're doing residential and you're getting down to 500 microns, whatever you need in a half hour without pulling the cores, good for you. You don't need to change a thing. But if you're working on larger systems like this gentleman, yeah, I mean, you're pulling those cores using bigger, half-inch hoses with valve core removal tools. I mean, you speed up your evacuation 70 to 80%. And on real large systems, instead of having one big centralized pumps, if you've got access on multiple points, just like you pull from the low and high side, right? You don't just pull from one side. We've got calls in people working on 800-ton systems with huge copper lines. They actually cut in their own half-inch flares and go right to the pump directly in multiple locations, and that's how they speed it up. But in the simplest terms, the shorter, the bigger the hose, the faster the evacuation. So the pump has a CFM. The system has a CFM. People don't think of that. You got capillary tubing sometimes, expansion valve, but your connections have a CFM. People don't think about that. They only concentrate on the CFM of the pump. They need to concentrate a little bit more on the CFM of their connections. We can demonstrate in the lab here. It's a 5-ton system. I'll put a 3 CFM on it, pull down in 20 minutes with half-inch hoses. I'll put a 12 CFM, leave the valve cores in, takes an hour and 15 because the CFM of the connections change that much. Yeah. So yeah, there's not a lot of applications where you need more than a 12 CFM, maybe multiple pumps. But with more detail, I have a more detailed answer.
Yeah, because we talked about Cormax. What do you guys recommend for vacuuming on Cormax? Like I've tried different fittings. Do you guys have anything specific over at JB for that? Like if I'm hooking up just a vacuum with some big hose and I got to use some sort of depressor.
Yeah, I mean the idea behind Cormax is you get greater flow without taking the core out because it's a different mechanism. With like a Schrader valve, like a tire valve in your car, right? You press that down, it's a pinhole going through a hose with a depressor. It's with a 3/16 ID. The longer the hose, the slower it is. So the deal with Cormax, it's still a 1/4 inch SAE flare. All right, so you can use standard hoses but it opens up greater where you don't have to remove the core. And then another option is to use valve core removal tools where you actually pull the core out. So you got a completely open, quarter inch Schrader. And there's different speeds associated with that. So that's really the idea behind the Core Max.
All right. Anything else, Jake? I don't want to keep everybody too long.
I have nothing. I think a lot of things were a lot of ground was covered today.
I appreciate Dave and Brian for coming out, and it was a good time.
Absolutely.
All right. Well, thanks for having us. And again, I look forward to seeing you guys out at the plant here outside Chicago.
Let's go.
I'm going to hit the outro. If you guys want to stick around for the after show, just, hold tight. I'm going to hit the outro. Everybody watching and listening, I appreciate you guys.
Appreciate you guys. Be safe. Great Friday. Enjoy it. It's not over yet.